揽投资，国内专业的互联网理财平台，收益超银行活期数倍，已为众多用户带来丰厚收益。揽投资，理财新选择。的以色列是全世界创业公司密度最高的国家，全国共计有4000多家创业公司。据以色列风险投资研究中心最新发布的数据显示，2014年，以色列高科技行业的688家公司共融资34亿美元，创下历史新高。美国作家罗伯特·斯考伯就曾在走访以色列之后感叹，在中国或者印度，高科技人才大多以进入谷歌或微软工作为目标，但是在以色列，每个人都希望自己创立一家公司。创业之国以色列是怎样炼成的？以色列政府如何通过孵化器计划鼓励创业、支持企业发展？为什么说不怕失败、迎难而上是以色列的创新文化基因？独一无二的兵役制度在培养创新人才方面起到什么作用？不久前，财新记者深入创业之国以色列，对以色列政府官员以及多位成功创业者进行了专访，解读以色列创业热潮背后的原因。
大家都说以色列是一个创业的国度，这个人口不足800万，国土面积2万多平方公里，而且其中还有60%属于干旱和半干旱地区的国家，是如何成为一个创业之国的呢？它的人口还不及北京和上海，但是科技创业公司却多达4000多家，密度居全球第一。那么是什么成就了今天的以色列呢
Israel is quite unique about its startups, and what the role the government plays, do you think?
It wasn't like this if we are taking the far past in Israel. In the beginning, when Israel established, we basically based on agriculture. However, the government realized, I think in the late 70s, that we should focus on innovation. We have a great human capital, and there was the time that the Chief Scientist Office established almost 4 decades ago, and since then we are developing and promoting the innovation ecosystem in Israel. And there was some, I would say, landmark point in this recent 20-30 years that bring Israel to the place that is called today the startup nation or so.
Yeah, but the startups start to bloom after 1990s, right? Is there some special project?
Yes, there is at least two things that boost the capabilities and the ecosystem in Israel in the early 90s. The first one was a very significant immigration from the USSR, the Soviet Union in the past.
With high education,
with high education,
scientists,
engineers, and it
yes.
was a big amount, a great number of people. It was more than 1 million immigrants in for a relatively very small country like Israel. I think these days we're something like 6 million or so. So 1 million immigrants, it's a significant human capital power, and as you mentioned, they were quite qualified. So this was the trigger for what we call today the incubator program. And the incubator program today is like the generator of startups. I mean, we have like 20 government incubators. Each one of them comprise something like 10 companies. So in each moment we have 200 startups in the incubator. Basically, I think every year in Israel there is something like 1,000 startups starting their work.
在创业生态方面，不得不提以色列的孵化机构。上世纪90年代，以色列政府制定了孵化器计划，由经济部属下的首席科学家办公室 OCS 来执行。每个项目85%的预算资金来源于孵化器，由政府来出，而孵化器本身只占这个项目20%的股权。一旦孵化成功 ，OCS 又将会把销售额的3%再度投放于孵化器本身，改善它的各项设施。而这一措施极大地促进了以色列的高科技产业和创新创业范围的产生。
How many companies apply each year?
More than 2,000 a year submit to the chief scientist, and it's from the different kind of programs. It can be a program for a single entrepreneur, from a connection between the academia and the industry. It can be for the National Fund for innovative product or service, and it can be for international collaboration between companies from Israel and companies from foreigner countries. So in total, it's more than 2,000. The evaluation made by a group of 180 experts. Each application at least evaluated by 2 persons, and there is a internal committee that's called the research committee. It's comprised from people from the government and from the academia and from the private sector. And for each application, there is a decision if the application is approved or not. The major criteria is the level of innovation, the market potential, the capabilities of the company, the ability to match, because we are never funding 100% of the project, so the ability of matching the funding needed and create a commitment or a partnership between the private sector and the public sector, the government. So this is the main criteria that each application is evaluated by the research committee.
But as startups and innovation, always have some companies fail.
I think in the culture in Israel that entrepreneurs and most likely the old people do not afraid to fail. And they know that when you are trying to do something, of course, if it's new or innovative, there is a good chance that you will fail. But you will learn from this and you do better in the next time.
So that's great. So when they apply the next time for the support, will be more difficult or as usual? It's the same, just the same criteria.
Same criteria. We are not counting the failures that the company or the entrepreneur had in the past. Each application evaluated like a new one.
在以色列的创新文化中，人们对于建设性失败尤为包容。很多以色列创业者都曾经经历过相当数量的失败，但是他们普遍认为，只要所承担的风险是理智的，只要经过了慎思并获得了经验，就完全可以拥抱失败。MIMAT 是一家以色列生物技术公司，其发明的系统能够结合数据分析和分子免疫学以及临床医学，检查人类免疫系统的反应，快速鉴别感染的病原是细菌还是病毒，让医生可以精准地对症下药，减少抗生素的误用。MIMAT 的创始人伊兰伊登在接受财新时间专访时表示，在创立 MIMAT 之前，他经历过很多次失败的尝试，但是他却并不惧怕失败。在他看来，这是积累学习心得的机会。
So how did you first come up with the idea of MIMAT?
So I think, first of all, let's say perhaps what MIMAT is, and then we can tell you how we come up with this. So what we're trying to solve is something that's perceived as a simple problem. You come to the doctor, you're sick, you feel sorry for yourself. Or maybe it's your child, they're sick. Or maybe it's your parent, and they have a fever. And what often the physician is trying to figure out is whether you have a bacterial or a viral infection, whether to treat you or not to treat you with antibiotics. And the problem is that he or she often don't know. Because bacterial and viral infections are very similar from a clinical perspective. And as a result of this very seemingly simple problem, you have some of the biggest healthcare challenges of our time. It's causing a lot of antibiotics overuse and underuse. Initially, we didn't have any idea. I think, we just made a decision. We worked together on other projects.
Okay.
In academia. We made some publications together. But these publications, even though they got a lot of, coverage, we didn't really believe it's going to help patients because the health economics didn't make sense. And in today's world, if you really want to reach the masses, you need to solve a big problem, but it also has to make economic sense. And so we had really bad ideas. I think we had the doors slammed in our faces multiple times. If you want to hear about entrepreneurship, entrepreneurship is not about being successful, it's about failing. Again and again and again and again, and getting the door slammed in your face. The first time, I think, we said, okay, let's do something. We went and we met with the head of the emergency department in some major hospital here. We came up with an idea. Never mind, I'm too embarrassed to say what that is. And he was looking at us and was telling, well, what is your business model? And we said, what is it? Of course, we have a business model. We're entrepreneurs. We prepared a business model. We told him. And then he was looking at us saying, okay, so I didn't get it. What is your business model? so we went out there, pretty embarrassed. And then we said, rule number 1, it's okay to fail. It's okay to get a slap in your face. It's okay not to know, but never on the same thing twice. So we said, next time we're going to fail, but not on the same thing. Okay, so so next time we went, we always have a business model, a concrete business model in plan. So it took us quite a lot of time. I think it's almost a year from the point where we said we want to do something until the point we actually had the problem behind which Mimid has been founded. A year of many bad ideas until we got to the right idea. So rather than having a eureka moment saying, I have the idea, I want this. No, first of all, we decided we want to build a company, and then gradually, this idea, emerged. So that was the beginning of it. So when we started again, we didn't really know how the technology is going to work. We were more problem driven. But we imagined, I think, something that would be small benchtop, a small fracture volume of blood, maybe even a drop of blood, in a few minutes, and would tell the physician all the information he needs: bacterial, viral, to treat, not to treat. That was the vision, that was the dream. We had absolutely no idea how to do this, but that was the dream. And after we made this dream, or put this as a vision, now we started, on the path, on the journey, with many failures, and trying to achieve this.
对以色列人而言，迎难而上的创新基因已经深入骨髓。以农业为例，以色列国土一片黄沙漫漫，烈日当头，自然资源极度匮乏，人均耕地仅1.5亩，人均水资源只有世界平均水平的1/4。然而，就是在这样恶劣的条件下，以色列发展出了世界上最先进和高效的农业技术，成功的将劣势转化为优势。卡伊玛是以色列的一家农业生物科技公司，主要利用突破性的 EPPM 非转基因育种技术提高农作物产量。卡伊玛现任 CEO 理查德·高博在接受财新记者专访时表示，用最少的资源为更多人提供粮食是卡伊玛公司的愿景，为改变现状而不断奋斗是以色列员工的精神所在。
Kaima is a quite new company, right?
It is. Yeah, it's only about 8 years old, so it's still a very young company.
Yeah, but it had some pioneer techniques in agriculture.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have a really interesting, novel seed technology that increases the plant potential in various crops, so productivity.
So what's the advantage of this company has?
It's the people, the spirit, and it comes from our mission, which is really to help feed and energize the world.
Food security.
Food security. In the next 30 years, we are going to have to increase food production by at least 50%.
All over this world?
All over this world, okay? And that's because population is rising and diets are changing. And the combination of a more protein-based diet and with more population, and at the same time a smaller land mass to produce the food, means we have to increase yields, increase productivity. That's what our technology can do. That's why it's so exciting. And we think we can do it in a sustainable way.
坐落于以色列特拉维夫市南部郊区的 Sorak 是世界上最大的反渗透海水淡化厂。 利用先进的反渗透膜淡化技术储存淡水，直接供应给以色列的配水系统，有效地缓解了以色列水资源紧张的问题。在 Sorek 工厂实地参观期间，和记水务高级项目经理吉尔多伦等人就向财新记者详细介绍了该工厂对海水进行加工处理的运作模式。
以色列是一个水资源极度缺乏的国家。从1999年开始，在政府的大力扶持之下，相关企业开始通过海水淡化来彻底改变全国的缺水问题。目前，整个以色列70%的淡水饮用来自于海水淡化。而我们现在所在的这家工厂就提供了目前以色列20%的淡水需求。Still, it's the sea water here. It's salty.
This is salty water, the same quality as the sea, but here we have the water. You can see underneath, you can see a sand layer. The water goes from the top through the sand, and we collect it down under the sand. We have 24 basins like this. We have 24 in this building and 24 in the other one. The whole project is divided in 2 parts. Why 2 parts? Because we are not allowed to stop the project at all. So if you make maintenance, we can stop only one side and the other one is working and switch it later on.
Smart
so
design.
It's working 24 hours, 7 days a week, all the year.
That's
no
great.
stop.
How do you wash it?
Okay,
there are
we make
only
it
about
back.
50 people.
Yeah. It's automatically. You see, every valve have electric motor. Everything is auto-operated from the control room. We'll go later on to the control room. You'll see everything coming from the control room. So you won't see people working here, only in maintenance during the daytime. Evening time, everything from the computer. Now, if we wanted the dirt that coming from the sea is collected on the sand. Once in 20 or 38 hours, we want to wash the sand. How we wash it? We make backflow. We take water from the pond and we make it flow upward. Upward, so all the dirt coming up and is passing over that weir, over the concrete weir over there, passing to a special channel. And from this tunnel, it's go to a special treatment place. So we are not allowed to put back the dirt to the sea. We have to treat it. So this project is the first project there is zero discharge back to the sea. We only discharge water to the sea, no dirty, nothing. So everything that comes, all the small barnacles or small animals coming from the sea or algae and everything is treated and going for using for the agriculture as a fertilizer.
Oh, that's great. So there are only drop of water will be
wasted. We save every drop of water because the cost to bring the water to treat it is expensive.
谈及以色列对创新人才的培养，有一点不得不提，那就是其独一无二的兵役制度。在以色列，每个年满18岁的人都要去部队服役2至3年，有的时间更长。兵役结束后，他们多数会进入大学读书。不过，兵役的以色列学生心智更加成熟，也有着更为清晰的人生目标。众多以色列创业公司创始人都有着难忘的服兵役经历，在军队里的压力考验，也为他们日后在商海拼搏打下基础。以色列创业公司 Windward 是目前世界上唯一一家提供并分析世界海上相关数据的公司。这家公司是由2个以色列前海军舰长阿米丹尼尔和马坦佩雷德联合创立的。丹尼尔在接受采访时表示 ，Windward 的创业点子正是他7年海军服役的经历中萌发的。
How many years have you served the military?
I served for 7 years in the Navy. We have a mandatory period of 3 years. In addition, I sent for an additional 4.
Were you in any elite program?
Yes, and here the Naval Officer Program is considered one of the top 3 programs of the Army.
So what are the selection requirements to get admitted to such elite group in Army?
Selection requirement, it's a compiling of your grades, your physical strength. Then they do a specific 4 or 5 day special test in which all the candidates come in and they make you run a lot and test how strong you are mentally, and only guys who pass this 5-day stage start the training program. The training program is 2 years. In a training program, statistically, only 30% finish the training program, which is after all of that.
How did you first come up with this idea? to run Windward?
Both Matan and myself are ex-Navy, and we left the Navy, and we said we just want to work together because we served a lot of years together on ships. We had a gut feeling that a lot of things sail the seas, all the world's cargoes. 90% of the world's cargoes are transported by sea, but nobody really knows what's happening there. So we connected that to a very clear business need, which is for illegal fishing. So the world's, according to the World Bank, the world is losing around $50 billion a year from illegal fishing, and which is unregulated and illegal fishing globally. So we started by establishing the company and raising money to solve that problem. Whilst trying to solve illegal fishing, we understood that in order to say who's fishing illegally, you actually need to know who's sailing the seas, which means you can solve intelligence problems and finance challenges and optimization, traffic optimization challenges, so the problem is that much bigger. So we start from a specific use case, but then we scale it up to something wider, if it makes sense.
So can we say that without your military service, you would not sit here today?
Yes, I guess so. It's kind of something that forms your personality. I'm not sure it has a one-to-one connection, but definitely being a naval officer, makes you stronger mentally. It makes you, it teaches you a lot of things specifically under combat. So yes.
Would you please elaborate the lessons you've learned in the Army?
First of all, preparation matters. So in the Army, you prepare until you fight, and then you're supposed to win. So specifically, my experience shows that the better you prepare, the better you can fight, and vice versa. It sounds like trivial, but feeling it under fire is different than knowing it theoretically under the neon. So that's number one. Number two, it takes time to go places. Ships sail slowly. It takes time. So big things happen slowly. Same here when we're trying to build a global company, which is very big and very successful with our partners from Horizons, and we're happy for them to share our vision for doing that. And that takes time. There are no magic tricks in our business.
So patience.
I would say patience and persistence, because in our culture in Israel, failing is okay.
Chutzpah.
Chutzpah, yeah. I'm not sure chutzpah is the feeling is okay. It's having the nerve to tell people, you know what, you've been doing this for 300 years. That's great, but we know how to do it better. That's kind of chutzpah. I'm talking about understanding it's a long, long road, and it's comprised out of a lot of, thousands of tasks, thousands of challenges, tens of thousands of meetings, and it's okay to fail in some of them. If you, as long as at the end you succeed. Any more lessons? In today's world, learning is a required capacity. There was an article called "The Best Leaders Are Learners," and that article said that you have to constantly be learning and developing and evolving and understanding new technologies, new businesses, new business models, etc., in order to be successful. So you have to do that with a team that you need to manage. You have to convey and delegate that understanding, but you also have as an entrepreneur to be one step ahead. As a naval officer, it's kind of the same. You need to delegate a lot of responsibilities. You need to make sure that people know to do the job, but still you always have to have the picture and the understanding of what's going to be to come next. What's going to happen in an hour? What's going to happen in 10 hours? What's going to happen in a day? What am I supposed to be careful or to look for?